Greetings, brothers and sisters. Alex Jones must pay $965 million in damages to families of 8 Sandy Hook victims. So they're going to get over $100 million of family.
Unanimous verdict. The jury declaring Alex Jones must pay $965 million to the families of 8 Sandy Hook victims and an FBI agent.
So that seems like a ridiculously excessive amount of money. And so I'm going to go through this, compare it to other settlements and just all of it, right?
Relief in the court as the verdict was read.
After almost a decade of threats and messages from conspiracy theorists led by Jones.
So this is about conspiracy theorists. We all know that, right? Not about Jones, who's a part of it.
This is a moment years in the making.
Jones was not in the courtroom for the verdict, but immediately reacted on his online show, calling the attorneys for the victims' families ambulance chasers and mocking the verdict.
57 million, 20 million, 50 million, 80 million, 100 million, blah, blah. You get $1 million, you get 100 million, you get a 50 million.
26.
Alex Jones taking it on the chin. So I wanted to put this in perspective, right? The Sackler family who created the opioid addiction, there's, I don't know how many people died, right? Millions of people. And, people's lives ruined, all of it. When they put out false advertising and false claims about OxyContin and all the rest of the stuff that went with that, right? And, it was purposefully done. It was evil. And again, destroyed families' lives. And they walked away with $10 billion in profits. And after some period of time, that $10 billion becomes more and more money, right? Because you invest the money in something, and you get a return on it. And ultimately, they had to pay only $4.5 billion, right? And they haven't paid it. It's been thrown out. It's going back and forth. No criminal charges. Hundreds of thousands of people died or had their lives ruined by their drug. And, they haven't paid anything yet. They had a settlement of half of what they made, and they still walked away with $5 billion, $5.5 billion. And so they made a profit. And the reason you do some kind of judgment like this is to make it punitive, like the Alex Jones thing, is to make it punitive, and it sets a precedent, a legal precedent, right? And you want to send a message that you're going to, not only lose your money that you made, the Sackler family, it should be $100 billion, right? They should have lost everything, right? They should make it punitive, make it something where you not only lost all the money that you made from the OxyContin, debacle, you also lose all your other everything. You're wiped out. That's what this kind of settlement's supposed to send a message, right? So the average uncontested defamation case is around $15,000, and it is usually paid in installments of $1,000 to $3,000 per month. And so when you sue for defamation, that would be the average settlement, not $1 billion, right? $50 million verdict in South Carolina libel case is an outlier. And usually when people are suing the media, remember that kid sued the media from Kentucky, right? That kid who was a so-called BAGA kid. And he was suing for $250 million, but they settled. We don't know what he got. But, the media usually just publishes an apology. And so there isn't these big awards given to newspapers or against newspapers or television media, right? And so this is the equivalent to what Alex Jones would be considered. He has he has media credentials, he has whatever he has. And so his case should be in line or should be proportional to these other cases, but it's clearly not, right? So let's compare this to wrongful death cases. So the top one here is for $2.64 billion, right? Then there's $1 billion here. And then the third one is $700 million. This is for wrongful death. where somebody was killed by somebody else. There's 500 million. So these are all substantially less than Alex Jones's, right? I mean, this is, there is a excessiveness to this settlement, right? So going back to this Sackler case, so you compare this to Alex Jones's, settlement here, right? And it's ridiculous because all he did was say some words. And what he said was, and I'm not defending Alex Jones. I'm not agreeing with him. And he's a shill. He's a part of this. This is not a real guy. He's not a real truther or something like this. And he's helped this. It says, Jones faced liability for defamation and intentionally inflicting emotional distress for creating a fake narrative that the mass shooting was a hoax. So he didn't kill anybody, right? He didn't get anybody hooked on drugs. He didn't destroy anybody's life. He just said words about these families that caused them emotional distress. And their emotional distress, the emotional distress they suffered, is worth over $100 million per family. And there's another $50 million lawsuit, a judgment against him. So he's ordered to pay $1 billion, right? And this is saying that, if you do some sort of slander, I mean, if there is some sort of slander in a news publication, New York Times is guilty of slander. I mean, it's never something like this, right? That he caused over $100 million per family in terms of their emotional distress. It's like $125 million. Each family suffered $125 million worth of emotional distress. Whereas like Jeffrey Epstein people who were offenders or Woody Allen, all these people, right? Well, he said words that hurt their feelings, and he said things that didn't agree with the official story, and therefore he has to pay, this is in a jury of people. This is what they came up with, right? Ridiculous amounts of money. And Alex Jones, again, he's a part of this thing. I'll show you I'll do my, let's go to Jimmy Kimmel's here. Jimmy Kimmel spots most infuriating part of Alex Jones's hissy fit.
Today was a rough day for the despicable and ridiculous Alex Jones today. Alex Jones was
like this worthless piece of crap right here, right? This guy. He encourages parents to steal candy away from their kids. And their kids cry. He's encouraging this horrible parenting and bad, and not just that, so many other things, right? Ellen, somebody who tortured people with practical jokes emotional distress is caused all the time, right? And to say your emotional distress is worth $100 million.
Ordered by jury in Connecticut to pay $965 million in damages to the families of 8 victims of the Sandy Hook massacre, which he repeatedly called a hoax. He tormented these families. He accused them of faking their children's deaths. In August, a jury in Texas ordered him to pay about $50 million to the parents of another victim in Sandy Hook, which means between the two cases, he now owes these parents over $1 billion in damage. I guess the good guys just won the InfoWars is what happened there. Alex, of course, says he...
So, he understands what the InfoWar premise is about. I'll get to Alex Jones being a complete shill. I'll do my memes, him, the stuff I make fun of him, and then the part about him admitting he's like part of the Illuminati.
He won't pay a cent. He declared bankruptcy to try to protect himself and had a full-on hissy fit as the verdict was read.
Proud of our work exposing the deadly shot. Proud of our work exposing the New World Order. The wars, all of it. So proud of our work. This is the devil coming after us. I feel good
This is the devil.
about the work I've done and the listeners' your support. This corrupt, dying political system wants to try to make me the devil. I'm not the devil, and God is my judge, not you globalist scumbags.
Exactly. God's his judge.
Personally don't have $2 million. The company's almost completely out of money. So please go to InfoWarsStore.com and get Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Get X3.
You think you're going to sell $1 billion worth of your crappy supplements?
Flood us with donations and get the X3 and see what it does for your body.
Exactly. Get $1 billion worth of X3. Get $2 billion that I could.
Well, we can see what it's doing for your body, and
Yeah, this guy, this human potato, right?
I mean, for a sunburned walrus, you look fantastic, but now go get that money for those parents, you disgusting pink garbage person. We have by the way, we have a fun show for you tonight. Marin.
Okay, so there's that, right? Let me just show the Alex Jones montage, my 2 Alex Jones memes.
This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is what everybody was like before us. This is what I am. I'm a throwback. I'm here. I've got the fire of human liberty. I'm setting fires everywhere.
This is a shill. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is how you make $165 million. I'm COINTELPRO. I work for the CIA. I'm cutting you out of your money. I'm cutting you out of your money everywhere. We're at war. I've declared bankruptcy. I'm broke. I need your help right now. My body's full of cholesterol, and there's a strange growth on my scrotum. There's only one way to fight this madness, to win this war. You need to buy my products, and you need to do it now before my head explodes. My blood pressure is too high. I'm on the verge of being thrown out by Illuminati, and they've canceled my gym membership, and I need your money and your support now. I just made a stinky, Roger.
You know, I have to probably say that I have major Masonic roots. A lot of my family, because Texas was pretty much Masonic through and through, was Masonic, high-level Masonic. And they were very, very good people. George Washington was a Mason. And all it is a university study of religions, of philosophy, and of building, and of mathematics, and of agrarian systems. And so what you see as Masons today is just those schools going on. And there have been hundreds of different variants and groups and Rosicrucian orders within the Masons, and the Illuminati, founded in Germany, was a counter-Illuminati to the real Illuminati. And yes, undoubtedly, my family on both sides on the Mayflower, hardcore Protestants, you could say Rosicrucians. This country was founded by real Rosicrucians, not the Rosicrucians you see out there today. And so undoubtedly, if you want to say it, I mean, I would say I come out of a classical Enlightenment family of what you would call real Illuminati, real Enlightenment. And I'll just say it here. When everybody asks me who I am, I'll tell you. There's no secret society. There's no secret messages. There's no secret handshakes.
So the thing is, I mean, they're saying having conspiracy theories. I mean, this is the story here. When you have when you don't agree with or accept the mainstream narrative, and you verbalize that, right? And again, Alex Jones is a shill and all these things. Then there is potential for you to cause emotional distress worth $125 million, right? Like, this is like so ridiculous, like being conspired against. You think about the internet and all the slander and all the negative things that are said and all the, the lies and all this stuff. And this is where you're going with this, right? Like, again, Alex Jones is a part of it. That's why they were able to get away with this. But it's ridiculous. Like, it's embarrassingly ridiculous that would be, the level of pain and suffering you would say people are suffering, right? When companies, I mean, like cigarettes, I mean, the cigarette, industry, they didn't, you look at the big settlements in the past and all the damage that was Agent Orange and Monsanto and what happened to the vets, and think about all the catastrophes that caused physical suffering and people dying and living miserable lives, and the Teflon stuff. There's a movie called Dark Waters, good movie, about the Teflon industry, and they're poisoning the wastewater, and it was destroying cattle, and then all these people were getting sick and dying and things. And, there's nothing like that. Big corporations that make, billions of dollars and they pay nothing, right? The lawsuit against Bill Gates and Microsoft for creating a monopoly around the browser wars. You think about all these big settlements. There's been all these settlements and nothing like this. You know, I mean, for some words, like you're saying some words that these families suffered so much from words, you said, that's worth $125 million, right? A piece, $1 billion collective settlement. So I just wanted to say this. I'm in the editing process and I just reviewed all this stuff. And, I don't think I was as clear about it. But what does $120 million in emotional suffering look like? Right? Like, how much can words cause somebody to have that much suffering? Like, how do you value emotional suffering at $120 million? Like, what's torture then? $2 quadrillion if somebody tortures you, or, any number of things that are done. And does that mean like everybody who has, if you are saying that if you lose a child and somebody says something about you or whatever it is, right? Like when my daughter committed suicide, I had a few people leave comments, oh, it's your fault, or, something like that, right? Blaming me, or this is why your daughter committed suicide, or something like that, right? Like something, mean-spirited. And I had other things said to me about other emotional things I went through in terms of my divorce or whatever it is. But in terms of the pain and suffering, my daughter's suicide, the loss of a child, is the pain, right? That's the pain. Like there's no, words that people say don't compare, right, to that. It's mean-spirited, it's icky, it's got bad energy, sure. But it doesn't come close to the pain you feel from losing a child. That's all that really matters. People saying whatever it is, saying negative things, saying hostile things, blaming you, right, whatever it might be, is not nearly as bad as losing a child. Or any of those things. The pain you go through divorce. People can comment about it, that's why your wife left you, something like that, right? Whatever it is. That sucks. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it's not nearly as bad as going through the divorce itself or any other real life pain. Things that people say to you on the internet, things that other people are saying about you, it just doesn't equate, right? I hear all these celebrities whining, all these people. The real pain is the real pain. What people say, people that you don't care about, meaningless people saying something about you, that's not worth $120 million, right? Especially when, the death of the child, what's that worth? You have to equate that the death is the separation and the loss of the life. That's the most painful thing, right? You can't, nothing, words still don't ever compare to that. Mean words, what like things that aren't true, false things about you, it doesn't equate, right? And so what this is really about is they want to make being a conspiracy theorist and not accepting the official story the worst thing and the worst people. That's what the media is trying to do. If you engage in other narratives that are outside the mainstream narrative, you're the worst person. That's what this amount means. This is what they've been trying to do for a while. The conspiracy theorists are the worst. And I've said this for a while. I covered some of these things myself. I never felt good about covering them for a lot of reasons. Like I knew there was something up with this stuff or whatever. But also, if you're wrong and you say something, that's a horrible thing, right? If you accuse somebody of faking something and it's something pretty severe and it's true and the person actually did suffer that and you're saying that, well, that just sucks. And all the people who believe the official story are going to look at you as a monster anyway. I said this a long time ago. This was a lose-lose situation. Everyone was covering this and I was like, and I covered a little bit, but I never felt good about it for those reasons. And, I didn't know they were going to try to set everybody up the way they did, deplatform people and the rest of it. But it's pretty clear now their intent is to make being a conspiracy theorist the worst thing you could ever be. Like, that's what this is about, right? And they keep on doing it, like CNN and MSNBC, because they're losing. the narrative, like, their narrative, nobody believes in and doesn't really, isn't interested in. They don't have viewers. They don't have people who are listening to them. And so the only thing you can do is try to demonize and make it illegal to have an alternative opinion than the official story that nobody believes in. And they get their guy, right, their dude, Alex Jones, to be that guy, right, to be the fall guy. So there's some sort of bogus legal precedent set by, a kangaroo court, right, with their shill, their COINTELPRO nightmare for the truth community, Alex Jones, just cooperatively giving them crazy, feeding them crazy, the profile they want to give all of us, everybody who has a different opinion, everyone who doesn't believe in the official story, is some wild, crazy conspiracy theorist like an Alex Jones. But anyways, so I watched this trailer for this movie called Megan, in which this girl's parents died. She's living with her aunt.
This is Megan.
Hi, Megan. I'm Katie.
So there's Megan coming to life. And it takes about a minute. There's this dude here.
Is that so?
Yes, experts say.
Megan, turn off.
I thought we were having a conversation.
Boom. That's when Megan goes rogue. Megan's going rogue.
Let anything harm you.
She's evolved. And she's doing body counts here, right? She's killing people.
Megan, turn off.
Recalibrating response model.
Boom. Megan's getting nasty.
What's wrong with you? Don't worry, Katie.
Don't worry, Katie. She's going to take care of all your...
I won't let anything harm you. Ever again.
Boom. Megan's getting it done. Megan's a good friend. That happened. So then also there is a movie... there's all this stuff where women are now the protagonists, but also the villains. They're now featuring the Wednesday Addams in a real-life show here.
Oh, wow. What happens to you?
I break out into hives and then the flesh peels off my bones.
So you can't have any color in her life. She's quite the archer, right?
Secret societies, hidden
There's secret societies,
libraries,
hidden libraries.
a homicidal monster.
There's a homicidal monster.
I won't stop until I find the truth.
Netflix sucks. The truth is that Netflix sucks. There you go. That's Wednesday. Staffer, Trump ordered secret documents moved at Mar-a-Lago. They post things like they're factual, right? Because somebody said something. I mean, I don't know what's true or not. It's all a show, but again, equivalent to what Alex Jones did, right? This happens all the time. I mean, what about the way that people were slandered over Hunter Biden being a fake news when they said that wasn't a true story? All those intelligence people coming out and saying that the Hunter Biden thing wasn't true. And then all the people being slandered, like all the people who have been deplatformed or punished for saying things that end up being true, right? What about them being slandered? What about the conspiracy? The conspiracy theory is a way of slandering somebody. It's saying that you're mentally ill if you don't accept the official story. Michael Cohen says he'd fear for his safety if Trump was reelected. Well, Trump's a billionaire, allegedly. He can't get you anyway, right? Like, how is he going to get you if he's elected? He couldn't control the Justice Department when he was president, and Trump said this is no way to run a country. Kanye West on anti-Semitic comments. I'm happy I crossed a line. He's still, I don't know where he's Speaking to Page Six as he left the screening of Candace Owens' new documentary. Candace Owen is putting all this stuff out there. Left-right paradigm interpretation of everything. But apparently Candace Owens said this. Earlier today I learned that Kanye West was officially kicked out of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. I was told there was no official reason given, but they sent him this letter as well to confirm that he has until late November to find another place for the Yeezy empire to bank. Why is he at J.P. Morgan Chase? I mean, Kanye's supposed to be sort of a truther. Why are you at J.P.? There isn't some like credit union or something better that you go. Well, it's like the most evil bank, right? Utter proof the FBI framed Trump and shielded Hunter Biden.
Breaking tonight, the second trial coming out of the investigation, the John Durham investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe is now underway just outside Washington. It involves a Russian national accused of trying to deceive federal agents about the infamous Steele dossier. Correspondent David Spott is at the court.
Anyways, there's apparent evidence that the FBI produced the dossier, and then also we know that they have deflected or they lied about Hunter Biden and all that stuff. It's all just a part of the show. Okay, so I got to go make dinner. I had some more to say, but I'm pretty much tired out, so there'll be more tomorrow. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paramano, definitely reporting for the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.